Alright, today I'm going to cover some Tinder horror stories just because I haven't covered any since I started this channel. And I never wanted to do it again because I don't get paid to do this, and most of these stories just make me want to puke my fucking guts out, but I like to spice things up every once in a while, so what the hell. Alright, let's go.
I'll see you guys in the dark.
About 2.5 years ago today, I recently moved to a new city in Canada.
That was his first mistake.
I was 21 at the time and single as I just got out of a shitty relationship. So moving was a fresh start for me. In a new city where I knew nobody really except my one guy friend, who we will call Mike. Mike didn't live directly in the city though, but we hung out a lot. Since I was single in the new city, I downloaded Tinder. Everyone my age has this dating
That was his second mistake.
app, or hookup app, really. I don't usually do dating apps, but I was bored and was looking for a little fun. Remember the I don't do date?
There's two things I'll never be bored enough to ever do: use dating apps and go golfing. Unless I have to go golfing for some particular reason that I'm only pretending to care about.
Dating apps that
And even then, I won't be any good because I'm terrible at putt-putt. But anyway, let's get back to this guy's story.
once you reach the end of the story. This is the exact reason I don't ever go on them anymore. So I get on there and I match with a guy who we would call Andrew. So I didn't message him first or anything because I was doing a lot of swiping and honestly went on with my day doing other things as I just moved and needed to unpack. So a couple of hours later, I check my phone and see Andrew has messaged me several times, saying hi, complimenting me, and he even sent a funny pickup line. I always appreciate a good pickup line, as I have a good sense of humor about mostly everything, and don't take many things that seriously. Keep this in mind too. So I replied, and we got to chatting. He eventually asked for my number, so I gave it to him. It was fine from there, really. Nothing weird was said. So he asked to take me to dinner, and for drinks. I agreed, and we met 3 days later. Met in a public place, obviously. I saw him outside a restaurant, leaning on his car. It was a really nice car. He asked me to take a photo of it with the sun setting in the background. I said okay, sure, why not? Thought it was random, but whatever. We go inside and eat dinner, drink a little bit, and it was a really good date. So I invited him back to my apartment to keep the night going, I guess you could say. It wasn't super late, and we were really hitting it off. We get to my door, and I was
For the sake of full disclosure, I don't know if this guy is reading a story or he's gay.
a little tipsy as I drank 3 glasses of wine. I wasn't drunk though, but I kept forgetting my code to my door, as I had just moved there. So I had it on my phone, and I got us in. The rest of the night wasn't weird at all. I woke up beside him the next day, majorly hungover. Dumb on my part. We obviously had fun the night before. He left, and all was good. I really didn't want to pursue anything further, so I texted him and said last night was great, but I'm not looking for anything serious right now. He freaked out on me, saying that I was wrong for leading him on, and whatever else was said. Okay, fair. You can have your opinions. That's by all means fine. So I ghosted him. Just didn't really feel like talking anymore after that, as he had said degrading and subjective things. I left it at that and moved on with life as we all would. About a week.
Unless you're making videos for the ad revenue, it is not necessary to take a minute-long story and turn it into, this will probably be 8 or 10 minutes long, maybe not, but the point is, you don't need 10 minutes to tell a 1-minute story.
goes by, and I'm out.
It's just rambling and rambling. It's like people are just looking for words to repeat so that they can stretch out the time. It's fucking stupid. Just get to the point. That's why I prefer to make shorts. Unless I'm doing this, but anyway, whatever this person's talking about.
Running errands to finish the last details of getting my apartment finished. I came home, and he's sitting in my living room with flowers and a bottle of wine I was drinking at dinner.
And if you're going to make 10-minute videos, make the videos worth being 10 minutes long. I don't need a 38-minute long video telling me whether this is the right way to do bicep curls or this is the right way. It's fucking dumb. There's no reason for it. Just tell me which one and why.
I was immediately like, how did you get in here? As you need a key fob and obviously my door code. The door code thing, after I thought about, didn't surprise me. He remembered it as I had it out and in the open on my phone. But the key fob, I was confused about how he got the extra one I have. He admitted to taking it when I was asleep, when he stayed the night. I was really mad someone would do that after not even knowing someone for like 16 hours. So I kicked him out, and I was a little shook up about the situation. I blocked his number immediately after he kept apologizing. I just couldn't forgive him after doing that and invading my home, which is a safe space. Fast forward to 2 weeks later. I was on a little getaway in Seattle with my friend Mike. He posted Instagram stories on the trip, and I forgot until after he followed me, after we matched on Tinder. This is a common thing guys do on Tinder. So he knew I was gone for a weekend. Mike and I are coming back to my place to drop my bags off and chill for a little bit at my apartment. I walk into my apartment with Mike this time, and Andrew was on my couch with a girl. I was completely in shock. He got in again. The girl even had the audacity to say, "Who are you, and why are you in Andrew's apartment?"
Are these supposed to be horror stories or who gives a fuck stories? Because right now I'm at the who gives a fuck point.
I lost my mind on both of them and asked him how the fuck he got in again. He had no made-up story this time. He just flat out didn't know what to say except for, "I didn't know when you'd be back, so I've been staying here with blank. Sorry, I forgot this girl's name." Mike was mad at him too, at the situation, and as I told him all about it weeks ago, I demanded to know how he got into my apartment again. He said he made multiple copies of the key fob after he took it. My heart completely sank, and I threatened to call the cops if they didn't get out and give me every key fob that he copied. I was pissed and felt so invaded of my space. About a month goes by, and I was still thinking about it every once in a while. He was blocked on every social media I could find him on. I thought he was gone, until I randomly saw him in places, more and more frequently. Like it wasn't a one-off thing. It was at least 7 times, and I was in public every single time. The last time, however, I was walking the seawall alone, and it was getting pretty late and dark out. It was about 9 p.m. in the beginning of June, and I stopped to tie my shoe, and when I stood up, he was right there. I panicked because I genuinely felt threatened by him at this point. He kept asking why I ghosted him and didn't accept him coming around anymore, meaning him letting himself into my apartment, and how I could be so mean to someone who he was so into. He kept trying to grab my arm to talk to me and started yelling. I was in tears because his next moves I had no idea about. Someone thankfully heard and intervened. I told them I was not okay, and they called the cops. He obviously ran away, and the police asked me to identify him. I gave them his name, and they couldn't find anyone with that name. So now it left me wondering if that was even his real one. I remember I had pictures of him and of his license plate in my phone. He had a nice car and wanted me to take a picture of it with my phone as the sun was setting behind it. Douchey, I know. So I gave them that info, and they told me the plates weren't even registered. Now I'm mind blown about the whole thing and very confused, even a little worried. They couldn't do a whole lot with what I provided, but they said that they would update me if they found anything, and to contact them if he gets into my apartment again, or if I saw him out again. I never did, thankfully, but to this day, I'm always looking over my shoulder for that stalker. I have since then moved and haven't seen him again.
I could tell you crazier stories about my childhood.